Tonight on News Around the World, federal government charges World Bank on quick release of project loan funds. Ohaneze Ndigbo pledges support for Governor Makinde. And on the foreign scene, 3 dead in Indonesia volcanic eruption. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on News Around the World here on BCOS television. I am Idowu Shekuni. The sign language interpreter is Shakirat Ogundeji. The federal government has urged the World Bank to speed up the approval and release of project funds meant for Nigeria, warning that long delays could affect the country's willingness to continue with some funding arrangements. Accountant General of the Federation, Samsudeen Ogunjimi, made the appeal during a meeting with a delegation from the World Bank led by Mrs. Treed Lane in Abuja. According to a statement issued by the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation and signed by Director of Press and Public Relations, Mr. Bawa Mokwa, the Accountant General said Nigeria deserves faster processing of funding requests because the facilities involved are loans that must be repaid and not grants. The Accountant General explained that delayed approvals often affect the implementation of government development programs and projects tied to the facilities. He urged the bank to shorten its approval timelines and ensure quicker disbursement of funds to support Nigeria's economic and development priorities. Again, the federal government has taken exceptions to what it described as frequent errors in the official appellation of President Bola Tinubu by various bodies and organizations, urging strict compliance with the correct title going forward. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, stated this today in Abuja in a statement issued by his media advisor, Yomi Odunuga. He said the clarification became necessary following an error observed in the naming and appellation of the president in a publication by a national daily on Wednesday, the 7th of May, 2026. Akume stated that the correct and official appellation of his Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. He urged the public and media organizations to verify official titles before publication to avoid what he described as avoidable and embarrassing errors filtering into print and online publications, adding that verifications could be made through the office's official channels on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and via email. No fewer than 13 persons have been reportedly killed by gunmen in Nigbara Zongo community of Kwal district in Basa local government area of Plateau State. It was gathered that several residents sustained varying degrees of injury. A resident, Mr. Philip Alanga, told journalists in Jos that the attackers invaded the community at about midnight, opening fire indiscriminately before attacking residents with machetes and other dangerous weapons. Mr. Alanga said the assailants moved from house to house, targeting innocent residents and leaving a trail of death and destruction. Confirming the incident, Secretary General of the Irigwe Development Association, IDA, Mr. Danjuma Alta, described the attack as barbaric, tragic, and condemnable. Now we come to Oyo State. The Oyo State Police Command has recorded a major breakthrough in the fight against kidnapping with the arrest of 4 suspected kidnappers and the safe rescue of an abducted farmer in Irawo town in Okyogun area of the state. According to a statement by the police public relations officer, DSP Alayalade Olayinka, the victim, 42-year-old Alhaji Quadri Oluriegbe, was abducted on the 29th of April 2026 at Olopoto village via Abubudu. The statement says 5 armed men invaded the community, shooting sporadically into the air to create panic before whisking the farmer away into an unknown destination. Before whisking the farmer away to an unknown destination, Following the distress report, the Commissioner of Police in Oyo State, CP Abimbola Olugbenga, directed an intelligence-driven rescue operations involving police tactical teams, Agbekoya operatives, Agmotekun Corps, local vigilantes and hunters. Security operatives thereafter intensified bush combing operations, surveillance and patrols across suspected criminal hideouts and adjoining forests within the affected area. The sustained pressure reportedly led to the arrest of a suspect identified as Umaru Bokolo, whose arrest provided useful information that aided ongoing investigations. The Oyo State Police Command has foiled an attempted armed robbery attack in Iseyi, neutralizing one suspected robber and arresting two others during the operation. According to a statement by the police public relations officer, DSP Ayolade Olayinka, the incident occurred around 2 o'clock in the morning along Shaki Road, Iseyi, following credible intelligence about an ongoing robbery attack at a residence within the area. The statement says detectives were immediately mobilized to the scene to prevent the attack and restore normalcy. Preliminary investigation revealed that about 5 armed suspects invaded the residence, which had reportedly suffered a similar attack earlier in February this year. The police explained that the resident security guard engaged the robbers in a gun duel, leading to the neutralization of one suspect, while 2 others identified as Ali Umar and Muhammad Usman were arrested at the scene. The corpse of the neutralized suspect has been deposited at the mortuary, while the arrested suspects are currently in police custody undergoing further investigation. We have a short commercial break. Please don't go away.
Àwọn kan máa ń sọ pé ẹ̀kọ́ dìrọ̀rùn. Àmọ́ èmi gẹ́gẹ́ bí abiyamọ, mo rí ìpèníjà fún ọmọ mi. Nítorí ẹ̀ ni mo ṣe máa ń fún ní Bonvita mu lójoojúmọ́. Bonvita ń fún wọn ní agbára láti máa yege lójoojúmọ́.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys!
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria.
Coleman!
Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet effectively. Comel on. Malaria gone.
Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent Triple Protection 123. Its antibacterial action formula gives them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath.
Get whiter teeth with a new Pepsodent Natural Charcoal Toothpaste.
Good, tasty food is worth living for. Worried about your oil every time you enjoy your favorite meal? Introducing Smart Balance. Smart Balance Rice Bran Oil is rich in Gamma Original, Golden Terra. Smart Balance Oil reduces bad cholesterol.
All right, everyone, no put your ears, make we talk. Time don't reach to rearrange this house to give us small wisdom. Shots might be fresh now, but you know, I beg no be so. Before I go talk, say our smell no reach. Make not think I'm twice so. Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world?
Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection unlocks 24 hours cavity defense. The formula boosts with calcium for lifelong smiles.
Mom, it's a time to brush. No more for my cover mouth. Because Colgate, that's who do ya with your smile.
Colgate for 24 hours maximum cavity protection.
Welcome back to News Around the World. Nigerians have been urged to build a national consensus towards addressing the growing security challenges confronting the country ahead of the 2027 general elections. The call was made by a security scholar at the University of Ibadan, Dr. Shola Ishola, and a public affairs analyst, Mr. Adesumbo Badejoku, while discussing the topic, rising insecurity and the 2027 polls on the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State Current Affairs Breakfast Program, AM 120. Our reporter, Fedora Folagui, has more.
As Nigeria gradually approaches the 2027 general elections, rising insecurity across different parts of the country has continued to generate concerns among citizens, political stakeholders, and security agencies. There are growing fears that persistent violence, unrest, and criminal activities may negatively affect political stability, voter participation, and the credibility of the electoral process. Speaking on the program, a security scholar at the University of Ibadan, Dr. Shola Ishola, said insecurity during elections is not new in Nigeria, noting that violence has over the years become a recurring feature of the nation's democratic process. Dr. Ishola warned that the situation should not degenerate to a level where the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, would be unable to conduct elections effectively. It described the current political atmosphere as tense and hostile, but expressed optimism that the tension may reduce after political parties conclude their primary.
The only thing we pray is that the level of violence does not get beyond the one that INEC will not be able to, to organize the election. You will recall that even in 2015, in the pre-Buhari era, the election has to be suspended for a while for the environment to be settled and for INEC at that time to be able to organize an election. It is the same kind of pressure that was building up, at that time that we are experiencing now. And, by the end of the year, because the election is early next year, by the end of the year, we would have seen clearly the direction that would be going in the polls, and that will determine the outcome of the polls. So I think it's a normal thing.
Also speaking, public affairs analyst Mr. Adesumbo Badejoku observed that insecurity and politics have remained closely linked in Nigeria over the years. Mr. Badejoku maintained that meaningful progress may remain elusive unless politicians demonstrate genuine political will and stop politicizing criminal activities for personal or partisan gains.
And of course, if you go back to history, just as the first guest said, it's becoming a pattern. And that's why I said there's a direct link between insecurity in Nigeria and politics. 2014, Chibok. Before Chibok, there was Buniyadi. Those ones were massacred. Then the Chibok. 2018 again, eve of election, we had the Dapchi girls. You understand? We've been having that. We know the mass kidnap we saw under Jonathan. In fact, under Buhari. The moment Buhari became president in 2015, months after, we started the hype-up Wahala. Banditry began in the Northwest before we were dealing with elders in the Middle East and the Boko Haram crisis. So you find a situation where that there is heavy evidence of political undertone in the security situation that we're having in Nigeria.
The two analysts, however, appealed to the political actors to place national interest above personal ambition and party considerations, stressing the need to prioritize the welfare, peace, and security of Nigerians to safeguard the country's democracy ahead of the 2027 polls. Fedora Afolagui, BCOS News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced the commencement of online accreditation for media organizations ahead of a series of high-stakes by-elections scheduled for Saturday, the 20th of June, 2026. In a notice released on Friday on X, the electoral body urged interested media houses to complete their accreditation promptly through its dedicated portal, emphasizing that late applications will not be considered. The elections will take place across key constituencies nationwide, including the Dawaki Kudu Warawa Federal Constituency in Kano State and the Zuru State Constituency in Kebbi State. Other areas slated for the polls are the Ondo South Senatorial District, Rivers Southeast Senatorial District, Nasarawa North Senatorial District, and Enugu North Senatorial District. INEC described the accreditation process as a critical step in ensuring transparent and effective media coverage of the elections, which are expected to draw significant political attention across the affected regions. The Commission reiterated its strict stance on deadlines, warning that failure to apply within the stipulated window will result in disqualification from covering the elections. The Ohaneze Ndigbo community in Oyo State has pledged its undivided loyalty to the Governor Seyi Makinde-led Oyo State government. They made the pledge during a courtesy visit paid to the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Community Relations, Mr. Tallest Nwosu, by the Ohaneze Youth Wing led by its leader, Barrister Chima Ona. Staff reporter Gwimsola Adebayo presents the details.
The visit by members of the Youth Wing to the office of the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Seyi Makinde on Community Relations, Mr. Tallest Nwosu, highlighted the growing relationship between the Oyo State government and the Igbo community residing in the state. Led by their youth leader, Barrister Chima Ona, the delegation, who described Oyo State as a peaceful and accommodating environment where people from different ethnic backgrounds live and carry out their businesses without fear or discrimination, commended Governor Seyi Makinde for his inclusive style of governance, which they said has continued to promote unity, peaceful coexistence, and equal opportunities for all residents, regardless of tribe or religion. The Ohaneze youth leader, Barrister Chima Ona, further reaffirmed the commitment of the Igbo community to support policies and programs of the present administration aimed at developing the state.
For the first time, since some of us came to Oyo State, we are given this opportunity of having a senior special advisor. It's something that, a gesture that we are not going to take for granted. Apart from recognizing us through you in his administration, he gave us a conducive environment to trade our businesses. You know, our people are 99% of us are businessmen and women. And if the environments are not conducive, we won't be able to do that. And he had made that environment conducive for us. And we trade, and some of us that are not even core into business, we have business that we have interest. And most of the time, we stay there 11, 12 midnight, freely. You hardly see it in another state.
Responding, the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Makinde on Community Relations, Mr. Tallest Nwosu, appreciated the Ohaneze youth for the visit and for their show of support to the administration of Governor Seyi Makinde. He reiterated the commitment of the state government to ensuring that every ethnic group in the state enjoys a sense of belonging, and further explained that the Makinde administration remains full.
Apologies for the freestyle. You are watching News Around the World on BCOS television. We have another commercial break. Please stay tuned.
The home is under attack.
And other things.
Hypo is here.
And we should be able to, as youth, we should be able to talk to our people for our people from outside the country or your state for investment. At least we understand that here in your state there is peace.
The Senior Special Assistant.
No greed. Protect every day with Hypo.
In today's fast-paced world, staying ahead demands peak performance from our bodies.
Like never before, our bodies need an optimum supply of essential nutrients, and Supermalt supports our daily nutritional needs.
Supermalt has 20 essential vitamins, minerals, and natural extracts for overall health and wellness. One Supermalt a day gives you energy and vitality, improves your mental performance, and supports your immunity.
Due to the glitch back there, we'll go back to the Ohaneze Ndigbo story. The Ohaneze Ndigbo community in Oyo State has pledged its undivided loyalty to the Governor Seyi Makinde-led Oyo State government. They made the pledge during a courtesy visit paid to the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Community Relations, Mr. Talest Nwosu, by the Ohaneze Youth Wing, led by its leader, Barrister Chima Ona. Staff reporter Wimsola Adebayo presents details of the event.
The visit by members of the Ohaneze Ndigbo Youth Wing to the office of the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Seyi Makinde on Community Relations, Mr. Talest Nwosu, highlighted the growing relationship between the Oyo State government and the Igbo community residing in the state, led by their youth leader, Barrister Chima Ona. The delegation, who described Oyo State as a peaceful and accommodating environment where people from different ethnic backgrounds live and carry out their businesses without fear or discrimination, commended Governor Seyi Makinde for his inclusive style of governance, which they said has continued to promote unity, peaceful coexistence, and equal opportunities for all residents, regardless of tribe or religion. The Ohaneze youth leader, Barrister Chima Ona, further reaffirmed the commitment of the Igbo community to support policies and programs of the present administration aimed at developing the state.
For the first time, since some of us came to Oyo State, we are given this opportunity of having a senior special advisor. It's something that, a gesture that we are not going to take for granted. Apart from recognizing us through you in his administration, he gave us a conducive environment to trade our businesses. You know, our people are 99% of us are businessmen and women. And if the environments are not conducive, we won't be able to do that. And he had made that environment conducive for us. And we trade, and some of us that are not even core into business, we have business that we have interest. And most of the time, we stay there 11, 12 midnight, freely. You hardly see it in another state.
Responding, the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Makinde on Community Relations, Mr. Talest Nwosu, appreciated the Ohaneze youth for the visit and for their show of support to the administration of Governor Seyi Makinde. He reiterated the commitment of the state government to ensuring that every ethnic group in the state enjoys a sense of belonging, and further explained that the Makinde administration remains focused on promoting inclusiveness and strengthening relationships among diverse communities living in the state.
The governor have given us enabling playgrounds to do our business. Gone are the days where our shop have been broken on daily basis, excessive tax and other things. And we should be able to, as youth, we should be able to talk to our people our people from outside Ibadan or your state for investment. At least we understand that here in Oyo State there is peace.
The Senior Special Assistant to Governor Makinde on Community Relations further noted that the Oyo State government recognizes the contributions of the Igbo community to commerce, economic development, and social growth in Oyo State. Wimsola Adebayo, BCOS News.
The rising cost of nomination forms for elective offices in Nigeria has continued to spark concerns over accessibility, inclusiveness, and fairness in the country's democratic process. Aspiring candidates are now required to pay millions of naira to secure party nomination forms, a development many observers say could limit participation to only the wealthy. Our reporter, Oyeshile Oloyede, has more.
Of election nomination forms in Nigeria remains a major subject of public discourse, with many questioning its impact on democratic participation. A political analyst, Dr. Adekunle Onile, described the developments as both prohibitive and detrimental to democratic growth. noting that high fees imposed by political parties effectively shut out competent but financial disadvantaged individuals. He warned that the trend is gradually transforming politics into an exclusive preserve of the wealthy, where financial capacity determines eligibility to contest elections. Dr. Onile further explained that this pre-elections exclusion weakened democratic values and could encourage corruption, as elected officials may seek to recoup the substantial funds spent during the nomination process. While acknowledging that political parties often justify the high fees as a means of screening serious candidates or generating revenue, he maintained that financial strength should not be the benchmark for political ambition. He therefore calls for reforms that will make the process more inclusive and reflective of true democratic ideas.
A democratic setup should be able to give everybody a level playground, not only the rich people. But the current trend now is that. So I think the prohibited cost of nomination form should be abolished. And we should find another method. If the reason why political parties are raising costs is because they want to get revenue or they want it to be limited to those who are serious, that's not the best method of knowing those who are serious. And that's not the best method of raising revenue. Political parties are not supposed to be primarily to raise revenue. Their mandate is not that. Their mandate is...
Also speaking, a legal practitioner, Taiwo Paul, noted that nomination fees are determined internally by political parties through decisions of their leadership. He explained that while such fees may be affordable for wealthy aspirants, they remain out of reach for many Nigerians, particularly those from less privileged backgrounds. Mr. Paul, however, emphasized that the cost of nomination forms should not be used as a measure of leadership capacity, stressing that competence and performance are not necessarily tied to financial strength.
The cost of the nomination form is not feasible for all individuals within a country. However, what is expensive to A, to B, it is something that they can get with ease. So in that case, for the lower class, the cost of the nomination form is totally expensive. Many of them cannot afford it. While to the upper class is what they can get with ease. And it won't cost them anything to obtain the nomination.
Stakeholders says that although political parties may have varied reasons for setting high nomination fees, the growing cost continues to pose a significant barrier to inclusive political participation. They insist that for democracy to strive, the pathway to leadership must be more accessible and not determined solely by economic power. Oyeshile Oloyede, BCOS News.
As Nigeria continues to grapple with persistent electricity challenges, stakeholders are calling for urgent reforms in the power sector to guarantee stable and affordable electricity supply across the country. The call formed part of discussions on the BCOS Radio Current Affairs program, or Rotonlo, where analysts examined the challenges before the newly appointed Minister of Power, Mr. Joseph Tegbe. Our reporter, Abimbola Shawande, compiles the story, now presented by Olubumi Lawal.
Despite several reforms and investments in the power sector over the years, millions of Nigerians continue to experience unstable electricity supply, frequent system collapse, and rising energy costs. Speaking on BCOS radio program, a public affairs analyst, Mr. Shegun Oke, attributed the nation's persistent power challenges to the centralized electricity structure, describing it as outdated and ineffective. He advocated greater participation by state governments and private investors in electricity generation, transmission, and distribution, stressing that decentralization remains key to achieving stable power supply.
There is no miracle he can come and perform now. The best thing I want him to do is to disintegrate the federal grid. Encourage every state government and local government to start their own power generation. And all this obsolete wire, all this obsolete transformer, all this obsolete material they are using to distribute light, they are all old. They are serving 10 houses before. Now the houses are 1,000. He can't serve us again. We should be holistic with what we are doing. Let him think of expanding and rebranding those materials. They are old.
He also expressed concerns over the capacity of the newly appointed Minister of Power to effectively tackle the sector's challenges, noting that technical expertise and long-term planning are essential for meaningful reforms.
I want the new Minister of Power to work with those who are within that ministry. He must not push anybody away. He should use those people in that establishment to achieve his aim. Else, he will come out again with nothing.
Also speaking, a defunct NEPA official, Comrade Akinbodushe Shedrack, noted that many facilities within the power sector have become obsolete and can no longer meet the increasing electricity demands of the country. He maintained that the current central grid system has outlived its usefulness in modern power management.
Electricity should be generated, distributed, and transmitted by the states. The federal government can do it, and an individual that have the financial resources can do it as well. So there is nothing stopping anybody from having an independent power plant and to generate electricity and give to the state, because it has been removed from the exclusive list to concurrent list. So I don't think we should not put everything on federal government. They cannot generate more than 6,000 megawatts, and which is not even enough for us. So let us generate by ourselves, so that we will use federal government own as backup.
Comrade Shedrack also dismissed the proposed involvement of a Chinese company in managing the national grid, insisting that state governments should instead invest in independent power generation using available resources.
The basic fact today is for each state, local government, individual that has the financial power to generate electricity for us, transmit and sell it for us. Electricity is not free, and we should have it at the back of our mind. Even those people that travel out of the country, are they using it free? Are they not paying their bills? So Nigeria should not be different.
The stakeholders agreed that addressing the country's electricity crisis requires deliberate reforms, increased investment, and a decentralized power structure capable of meeting Nigeria's growing energy demands.
We have another timeout. When we return, it will be time for the sports segment of the news. Please don't go anywhere.
Àná ni taste maker yọdé láti dá adùn padà sí ilé àìládùn yìí. Gbogbo ohun tí ó ṣe ni ó wọ́n, ó rò ó sì bù ú. Láti ìgbà náà lọ, wọ́n mọ òtítọ́ kan. Gbogbo ohun tí wọ́n nílò ni wíwọ́n, rírò àti bíbù.
Taste maker. All right, everyone, no pull your ears, make we talk. Time don't reach to rearrange this house to give us small wisdom. Sounds mighty fresh now, but you know, I beg no be so. Before I go talk, say our smell no reach. Make not think I'm twice so. Ever heard of Colgate, the #1 oral care brand in the world?
Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection unlocks 24 hours cavity defense. The formula boost with calcium for lifelong smiles.
Mom, it's a time to brush. No more cover mouth.
Colgate for 24 hours maximum cavity protection.
The home is under attack, but not for long, because Hypo is here.
Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Dirty and stains, don't be do a shakara. We got the remedy, original palasa. Hypo, go hypo.
Germs always find a way back.
No greed. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo, go hypo.
Over now to sports.
Good evening, you're welcome to the sports segment of the evening news. My name is Toby Ajewale.
The historic Ibadan Polo Club will mark 120 years of polo in the city with the 2026 National Polo Association Ibadan Polo Tournament running from Sunday, May 10th to May 17th at the club's grounds in Elele. The week-long event will feature 3 major trophies: the Adia Lakija Memorial Cup, the Brigadier General Rotimi Cup, and the Ibadan Cup, with a grand finale on May 17th, including the prestigious Governor's Cup. A highlight of this year's tournament is a special Women in Polo exhibition match scheduled for May 14th, aimed at boosting female participation in the sport. Club President Abimbola Adeyemi said the milestone underscores polo's transformation from an elite colonial pastime into a vibrant part of Ibadan's sporting culture. Tournament chairman and vice president Mogaji Olajuwon Zubera added that fans, families, and visitors can look forward to exciting on-field action and various off-field attractions. Organizers have confirmed 23 teams will compete, including 11 from Ibadan. And to other sport news, Nigeria is set to host the 3rd Confederation of African Cycling CAC Paratrack African Championships and the 12th CAC Track African Championship in Abuja from May 9th to 17th. The event will take place at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium Velodrome, with top riders from South Africa, Kenya, Algeria, Zimbabwe, Ghana, Benin, and host nation Nigeria expected to compete. The Cycling Federation of Nigeria praised the National Sports Commission for approving the necessary budget and confirmed that all preparations are in place. Team Nigeria cyclists remain in camp after completing national trials. And on the global scene, World Football Governing Body FIFA has announced that all 48 participating nations at the 2026 FIFA World Cup must submit their final squad list by June 2nd, when the official rosters will be published. Teams can name between 23 and 26 players with at least 3 goalkeepers. A confidential provisional list of 35 to 55 players must be submitted earlier. The squad structure from the 2022 tournament in Qatar remains unchanged. Player replacement after the deadline will only be permitted for serious injury or illness and must occur no later than 24 hours before a team's first match. Finally, in sport news tonight from football, AFC Bournemouth have withdrawn 21-year-old defender Alex Jimenez from their squad for Saturday's Premier League clash against Fulham while they investigate social media posts involving the player. The Spaniard, who joined permanently from AC Milan in February on a contract until 2031, has made 32 appearances and scored once this season. The club stated they are treating the matter seriously. I will make no further comment at this time.
And that will be all. And it's back to news around the world. My name is Toby Ajwali.
Thanks, Toby. On the foreign scene, at least 3 hikers, including 2 Singaporeans and an Indonesian, have died after the Mount Dukuno volcano erupted on Indonesia's Halmahera Island, according to a local police chief. Foreign desk editor Flashadi Akitola compiled the story and others as presented by Bimbo Akonbi.
20 hikers were on the slopes when the disaster struck on Friday morning, North Halmahera Police Chief Elixin Pasaribu told reporters at a volcano monitoring station in Mamuyas village. The area had been closed to visitors since April 17 after scientists observed an increase in volcanic activities. Authorities have told residents and tourists to stay 4 kilometers from the Malupang Walirang crater, which is the center of the volcanic activity. The ash was being distributed in a northerly direction, so the government volcano agency issued a warning for residents in Tobilo town that they could be affected by volcanic ash rain. They have also warned of a direct threat of ejected rocks and the potential of lava flows. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard, Corps, IRGC, claims to have captured an oil tanker, Ocean Koi, in a special operation in the Gulf of Oman, saying the vessel was attempting to disrupt oil exports and the interests of the Iranian nation, according to state media. In a statement carried by the Fars news agency, a spokesperson from the army said the Iranian Navy's Rangers and Marines directed the offending tanker to the southern coast of the country. According to the IRNA news agency, a statement from the army said it would powerfully defend the interests and assets of the Iranian nation in the territorial waters of our country and will not tolerate any violators or aggressors.
This development seems to have 2 dimensions. One that is related to the flexing of muscles between Iran and the United States over the implementation of economic sanctions against Iran.
State TV released the video of Iranian forces boarding and detaining the ship. According to Marine Tracker, the vessel is registered in Barbados. In the meantime, Russia and Ukraine have accused each other of breaching a short ceasefire announced by Moscow to coincide with Victory Day commemorations marking the Soviet Union's defeat of Nazi Germany. The Kremlin said its forces downed 264 Ukrainian drones early on Friday, with officials in Moscow reporting attempted attacks on the capital and in the Perm region in the Ural Mountains. Russia had warned that any disruption would trigger a large-scale missile response against Kiev, urging foreign diplomats to leave the Ukrainian capital before potential escalation. In a separate announcement, the Russian Transport Ministry said on Friday that 13 airports in Russia's south halted operations due to drone attacks. There were no casualties, it added. Victory Day commemorations marked the Soviet Union's loss of 27 million people in World War II as it drove Nazi forces back to Berlin, where Adolf Hitler died, and the Red Army's Soviet victory banner was raised over the Reichstag in May 1945. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russian forces continued to attack positions overnight, dismissing the ceasefire as ineffective. Bimbo Akambi, BCOS News.
To end news around the world, here again are the top stories. The federal government has urged the World Bank to speed up the approval and release of project funds meant for Nigeria, warning that long delays could affect the country's willingness to continue with some funding arrangements. The Ohanese Ndigbo community in Oyo State has pledged its undivided loyalty to the Governor Seyi Makinde-led Oyo State government. And on the foreign scene, at least 3 hikers, including 2 Singaporeans and an Indonesian, have died after the Mount Dukuno volcano erupted on Indonesia's Halmahera Island, according to a local police chief. The BCOS website is live. Kindly visit www.bcostv.com. You can also watch us on GoTV, channel 134, and on StarTimes, channel 113. Now, before I go, dumping of waste in waterways aids flooding. Avoid unwarranted disasters. That's news around the world from me and the crew here. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Ọlọ́run kan bẹ̀ nínú ìjọ Christ the Light Gospel Church tó ti ṣiṣẹ́ agbára fún odidi ọdún mẹ́rìndínlógójì látọwọ́ ìránṣẹ́ rẹ̀ Bishop Solomon Olúṣẹ́gun Àrẹ̀mú ó tọ́pẹ́ ó jọpẹ́ lọ o. Let's come together as we celebrate the 36th church anniversary